Hi everyone, good day. Now we're going to discuss about the nuclear pollution. Here's our agenda for this topic. The introduction and also the cause of nuclear pollution, the effect to our environment and also to our health, and also to prevent and control this type of pollution. Nuclear pollution, also known as radioactive pollution, is a serious environmental problem caused by the release of radioactive substance into the air, water, and soil. These substances come from various sources such as nuclear power plant, accident, nuclear weapons testing, and the improper disposal of radioactive waste from medical and industrial activities. Unlike other types of pollution, nuclear pollution is extremely dangerous because it can last for many years or even centuries. Radiation from nuclear pollution cannot be seen, smelled, or touched, but it can cause serious harm to living things.
Cause nuclear power plants accident. Example, Chernobyl 1986. Chernobyl in 1986 in Ukraine, one of the worst nuclear disaster in history. Fukushima 2011. Fukushima in Japan caused by massive earthquake and tsunami. This accident released large amount of radioactive material into the environment. Improper disposal of radioactive waste from medical, industrial, and research facilities. Waste can come from medical facilities like cancer treatment centers, industrial application, and research laboratories. Laboratories, if not properly handle, these materials can contaminate soil and water and air. Nuclear weapon testing and use. Testing or using nuclear weapons release and radiation into the atmosphere and the ground, which can spread widely and precise for years.
So, good day everyone. My name is Najar Makaraya. My topic for today is all about effect on the environment. So first is soil contamination. Is radioactive particles settle in the soil, affecting plant growth and entering the food chain. So, kung na-irradiation ang gamay kaayo nga particle nga murag abog nga radioactive mubagsak sa yuta, ang tanong nga motubo sa yuta nga na radiation mahimong makontaminate o malason kung mukaon ang hayop og tanom nga nakontaminate. Malason pud siya kung mukaon ang tawo sa hayop o tanom, mosulod na pud na ang radiation sa lawas sa tawo. So mao na siya ang ginatawag og food chain, ang pagsunod-sunod gikan sa tanom, hayop, tawo. And then the second is water pollution. Water pollution is radioactive materials can seep into the water bodies, affecting aquatic life and making water unsafe for consumption. And ang radioactive na abog o likido mahimong musagol sa tubig o sa sapa o dagat o tubig imnonon, makadaot ni sa mga isda og tanom sa tubig. Delikado po ni sa tawo kung muinom o mogamit og tubig nga naay radiation kay makalason. And the last is air pollution. Radioactive dust and gases can travel large distance, affecting areas far from the source. So ang radioaktibong abog o gas mahimong madala sa hangin kung mahuyop sa hangin, maabot sa bisag sa layo nga lugar sa pinanggikanan sa radiation. Delikado ni kay mahimong makalanghap sa hangin nga na radiation bisag layo pa ka sa aksidente. Then next.
Good day everyone, I'm Jessica F. Leonardo and now I'm going to discuss about the effects of nuclear pollution or radiation on human health. So first is we have cancer. So radiation can damage or harm your cells in your body, and sometimes this damage can make your cells grow in a wild or an uncontrolled way, and which leads to cancer. So there are two common types of cancer caused by radiation exposure. So first we have leukemia. So leukemia is the cancer of the blood. Second is the thyroid cancer, is a cancer of a gland in your neck that helps to control your body's energy. So even a small amount of radiation over a long time, it can raise your risk, especially when you exposed often on radiation. So the second effect is the genetic mutations. So radiation can damage your DNA, which is like the instruction manual for your body. And if this damage happens in your reproductive cells or eggs or sperms, it can be passed on the children. So this might be caused birth defects. So birth defects is a problem in a baby is born with, and like missing limbs or organs that they don't work properly. The second is the hereditary conditions. So these illnesses is run in families due to change genes, and this means radiation doesn't just affect the persons exposed, but also affect the future generation. So now we are in the third effects, which is the radiation sickness. So when a person is exposed to a lot of radiation in a short time, like during the nuclear accidents or explosion, their body can handle it. So there are a lot of causes like nausea, vomiting, hair loss, weakness, tiredness, and in very serious cases, it can lead to death. So this called acute radiation syndrome, and it can affect the organs and systems in your body very quickly. So that's all my discussion, and thank you for listening.
Prevention and control. Strict regulation of nuclear facilities. So, without strict regulation of nuclear facilities, I think the facilities would not be very good. Would not be able to operate well and would actually be dangerous in some cases that we don't follow the regulations that are used for operating nuclear reactors and the way they work, and also throwing out the waste. So if we don't do none of those properly, then we might actually have a disaster level kind of threat to our environment. Next is safe storage and disposal of radioactive waste. So if we don't do safe storage and disposal of radioactive waste, then we might actually be harming the environment more so than we are helping it, because otherwise, other than our use of the energy we harness from the nuclear reactors, it would be actually very dangerous for our environment,
and to all the living creatures around if we don't dispose of the nuclear waste or radioactive waste that we harness from that we get from operating nuclear reactors. So without safe storage and proper disposal of radioactive waste, then it would actually be not a very good outcome for the environment. Next is emergency preparedness for nuclear accidents. So in case of anything that happens, nothing is nothing is absolute, and we must all do our best to prevent what is inevitable, or at the very least we can stop. So in any case, when there are accidents, we prepare some emergency protocols that we could put in our nuclear facilities so that they can be prepared for any mishaps that happens when operating or during operating of nuclear reactors, in which we can be sure that minimal damages can be occurred and no casualties. So next is international cooperation and monitoring through organizations like the International Atomic Energy Agency. So for international international organizations like the IAEA, or the International Atomic Energy Agency. So with their help, we can actually produce with sustained development goals, or the SDG. With all of that, we could potentially elevate the level of and the use of nuclear reactors throughout the world. And with that, with the help of the international organization, it is much more easier to monitor and help our comrades in their use of the nuclear reactors and all of that. So that is everything for me for the prevention and control. Thank you for tuning in. I am Ronaldo Steve Bacolod, the reporter of Group 6.